It's your girl Honey. Hope everyone's doing really well today. I am absolutely tired. I've been doing videos back to back today. I'm tired. So as you can see, I've got a new background-ish. I'm doing it in my bedroom today, just for today. But I quite like the lighting in here. It's quite cute. So I thought, yeah, let me just try out a video in here, see how it looks. And yeah, I quite like it. So today we're going to be doing Chiron in the 10th house. This was the video I was asked for next. I've almost completed my Chiron series. I'm so excited about that. So there's quite a few people around me that do have Chiron in their 10th house. So this is going to be purely based on my experience interacting with these people, what I found through what I found through research, through that's reading, through books, through other people's experience, astrologers, you know, you name it, right? That's what I've learned. So what's Chiron? Chiron is a asteroid. It's known as the wounded healer, right? It's going to be our childhood traumas, what molds us into who we are today. It's going to be in the 10th house. 10th house is home to Capricorn. It's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is about restrictions, rules, regulations, the government, you know, things like that. So having your Chiron in that house, what kind of person would you probably or most likely end up being? This is actually quite interesting because there are 3 people I know who have their Chiron in this house and they all have issues with their dad. Now this might, I'm not going to say that it's only about the dad, because this could be someone like an older brother, it could even be your mother, but it's going to be a dominant parent, right? And most of the time it is a dad. Even in my case, from what I know personally through my friends around me, it's going to be their dad. So the issues that they're going to have with their father is always going to be a feeling of not feeling like they've done enough. Like, you know, I know a guy, this is a really good example, right? I remember from years ago, before I was even into astrology, and this guy, he's Nigerian, and he decided to go and do like football training, you know, fitness, health, go down that route, right? And his dad, a typical African man, you know, you're either going to be an engineer or you're going to be a doctor. And this guy decided, no, I don't want to do any of that, I want to do my own thing. And his dad literally just doesn't understand. Like, why would you want to go and do that? Like, why would you go and do health and fitness and football and shit when you can be an engineer and a doctor? You're useless. You ain't shit. And I remember him telling me years ago that, you know, his dad just doesn't understand. And his dad, I can picture his dad, you know, is it demoralizing? Demoralizing here in front of his other siblings and saying, well, you ain't shit, you know, you haven't got this, you haven't got that done, what the fuck are you doing? And what it's kind of done is it's really affected him heavily today, because this was years ago, and even today I hear him talk and say a few things which I don't even tell him about astrology, right? But I hear him say stuff like, you know, my dad just doesn't understand me, and I hate my dad. And it can definitely create that kind of vibe, and it makes a lot of people feel like they're almost worthless towards, that they feel worthless because if their own parent can't understand their career progressions, or, you know, what they've chosen for a career, like, how is anyone else going to understand or appreciate what they do? So it can definitely hinder, you know, their first step into the world of career. Career wise, you should always look at your north node, your 6th house and your 10th house, and sometimes even the 9th house, because there might be something about working abroad there, you know, who knows. But always look at those houses in reference to career, what you kind of want to be doing, should be doing, and what you'll most likely end up doing in the long run. North node is where we're supposed to be going. We need to be heading that direction, right? So what else is there? Yeah, so these people tend to feel very like, my dad just doesn't respect me, and a lot of the times it ends up in a situation where these people don't end up talking to their parents anymore, you know, which is really sad. Now, having your Chiron in the 10th house, it can definitely bring confusion to your career choices as well. It can make you feel like, rah, like, you know, should I go and be a teacher, or should I go and be an engineer? I'm not really sure what I want to do, and it can make you feel very confused, you know, for years. Like, you might be someone who works in the same job for like 2 years, 3 years, but then you might change career paths and go and work that job for 2 years, 3 years, but you're not really consistent in your work, and you're not really sure what it is that you want to do. But you keep working, you're just not really sure yet. And these people tend to be very late. Like, I'm not 27, and most people my age now, they kind of know what they want to do, right? But someone with Chiron in their 10th house, they might have an idea, okay, this is what I think I want to do, but I'm not 100% concrete on this yet. So they can be very like late bloomers, you know. They might not be sure exactly on the exactly what they want to do career wise. People with Chiron in their 10th house, they tend to have this thing where like I was just talking about careers, like they just want to be successful like anybody else does, you know. But it's just a fear, like, if I go into this field, am I gonna fail? You know, I don't want to fail, but what if I do? Is there's always like this reoccurring fear with Chiron 10th house people. And this is what I'm saying, it's all stemmed from as you was growing up as a child, the pressure from your parents. Do you know what I'm saying? Chiron in the 10th house people have this fear of like prisons, anything to do with like being locked up in like mental institution, anywhere like where you have to be by law, like you have to stay here. They have this fear, and it's usually because something happened in their childhood which they would have like witnessed and saw, like for example, right, I don't want to say, because there's so much going on in my head, don't want to say too much, but I do know someone who as a child they had witnessed their sibling get like brutally attacked, you know, by police officers. Their house had been raided several times, and to actually see that happen with your own eyes, you know, that can definitely cause some type of psychological effects on you. And this can definitely be a 10th house Chiron situation, which can lead you to grow up and to be very paranoid, having to deal with the police, even if, yeah, you've done nothing wrong. You just feel very like uncomfortable because you're getting these flashbacks coming, and you're just very like, I don't want to deal with you, I don't like you. You know, this is definitely 10th house Chiron kind of attitude. 10th house Chiron people, I find they are very, very sensitive. You know, I can have a very brash way of expressing myself, and at times, right? And sometimes I can say stuff that will hurt a 10th house Chiron person's feelings. But the thing is, with you guys, you have to learn to just get thick skin. Like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You guys need to run that in your head over and over again, and don't be so hurt by what someone has said to you. Another thing, lastly, career-wise, yeah, you guys would be absolutely, the way that you can kind of heal yourselves through your Chiron 10th house is by being a workaholic, just working, because you will be a lot more successful if you just work. And it's crazy because 2 out of the 3, no, actually 3, all 3 of them that I know that have Chiron in their 10th house, they work back to back to back to back, right? They put the hours in, they put the work in, and they're ridiculously successful, you know. And I don't mean ridiculously successful where they're the CEO of a company, but you know, they get very good feedback from their managers, you know, or one of them works for themselves, but you know, they are very good in when it comes to working, because it's what they're supposed to do. They have to be able to work, you know. So that's my 10th house Chiron placement video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.